Congressman Khanna is a Democrat on the House Oversight Committee. He's joining me now, sir. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Brianna, for having me on.
So the president's lawyers here are saying that your committee chairman, Elijah Cummings, is overstepping his authority. What do you say to that?
I disagree. This is about basic transparency. Every president, going back to Richard Nixon, has released their tax forms. Every member of Congress has to talk about their assets, their family's assets. You can go online and see all of my disclosures. There's no reason that the American people shouldn't know the basic financial picture of this president and whether that's dictating or guiding his policy.
So what are you looking for? Are you expecting that this would actually include tax returns, or is this getting at the information in another way?
Well, I think it's getting at the information in another way. I mean, I think the president would be smart just to release his tax returns, and he may then make it less necessary for us to try to go these alternative routes to piece this together. But what we need to know is what are potential financial conflicts of interest? Why is it that we had tax policy that benefited real estate developers with a pass-through? Are there positions that he's advocating in the government that are being influenced by his own personal financial holdings? And this is why we have broad disclosure laws for members of Congress. The public has a right to this information.
The request is from the chairman is for 10 years of financial information. Why go so far back? Why go 6 years back before Donald Trump even announced his run for president? What are you looking for there?
Well, I think we need to get a full picture about his assets and what conflicts he may have. I mean, does he have influences in other countries that are possibly giving him loans? What are the investments he had and what type of perspective that brings for him? But look, if he came back and said, I'm going to release 6 years, or we're going to give 6 years of information, not 10 years, we can have a reasonable conversation. But so far, he hasn't been willing to give us anything.
It was Michael Cohen, the president's former personal attorney and fixer, who testified that Donald Trump inflated his net worth. Is that at all the basis for part of what you're looking for here?
It's one part of the concern about whether in the deal with trying to buy an NFL franchise, he inflated his net worth, or whether he fully paid his taxes. But, you know, we're not making any prejudgments. I think this is a very simple principle. Every president in the past has been honest with the American people and disclosed their assets. And I really don't understand why this president just doesn't do that. Get it over with. Let the American people make a determination about what's guiding his policy and whether he has any conflicts of interest.
There have been many reasons that we've heard from the president, from his top aides, for why he won't release his tax returns. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said members of Congress aren't smart enough to understand the president's taxes. Do you think you're smart enough to understand the president's taxes?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm smart enough. I was born in Philadelphia in our bicentennial year. I'm smart enough to understand our Constitution. And if Sarah Sanders wants to have a cup of coffee, I'm happy to discuss Federalist 51 and Madison's arguments for the separation of powers and why we have to have checks and balances. I'd love to have that conversation with her, because Madison understood there weren't perfect people in Congress or in the White House, but we have this amazing constitutional system, and complying with that system is about respecting the people and the framework our founders set up.